Well, welcome back. Let's get more on those claims by the Sussexes. They were subjected to what they claim was a 2-hour paparazzi car chase in Manhattan. Back with me are the TalkTV contributor Esther Cracker and Black Lives Matter organiser and activist Iman Ayton. OK, Iman, what do we make of this?
I'm upset for them because these types of incidences validate your opinion and others' opinions in terms of Harry not kind of getting over the past and incidences that really resonated with
Actually,
him.
that's not how I feel. And I said earlier in the show, I've always had sympathy with his hatred of paparazzi, given he blames paparazzi for killing his mum, right? I don't think that's true. I think a drunk driver killed his mum because he was speeding under an underpass. There's no doubt the paparazzi were following. And there's also no doubt, because I had lunch with Diana and William was there and she talked about the paparazzi, how much it hurt her, how much it hurt him. So I'm under no illusion about that. I just feel with this, that the trouble with these two is they turn everything, there's a phrase that I like, which is over-egg the souffle, right? They're always over-egging the souffle. Whatever went on last night, it wasn't a 2-hour high-speed chase around Manhattan. It was probably at least half of that was spent, it seems, stationary or in a police station. And what was really going on, because it's perfectly legal for paparazzi in New York to follow celebrities. Nobody got arrested. The police have said there was no specific incident. Nobody got hurt. There was no collision. In the end, it's just Harry and Meghan complaining about press intrusion, having been in an event where they invited the world's media to come and pay homage to them.
But they have the right to complain about press intrusion during certain incidences in their life. So if they do not
but have they still got the same
they
right?
have the right to say, I don't want the press to follow me, and I have the right to get into a cab and do whatever I need to do to avoid them.
I know, but when we first heard this, when we first heard the story, the both of us were like, a 2-hour car chase in Manhattan. It's like a 2-hour car chase in London. You'd end up in Kent.
And that's by the way, that's their statement.
But is that accurate? Is that
no, it's not accurate. They didn't have a 2-hour, so their statement is untrue. And they say near-catastrophic. But actually, there was no collision with anybody. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
It's not a catastrophe. It's not a near-catastrophe. What it is them being pursued by paparazzi. People may have a view watching this about paparazzi should never do that. I think the paparazzi are part of the oxygen of celebrity. And if you court the media as aggressively and as thirstily as these two have done, you are going to get a lot of paparazzi attention.
Well, I mean, I felt bad because initially my immediate reaction was sadness, obviously, but also doubt, because a 2-hour car chase in Manhattan didn't make
it's not true, and that's in their statement, so you know half of that immediately is not true.
At the same time, where do they draw the line? Because if you're going to complain about media intrusion, you've intruded into your own life so much. Where do you draw the line? And I think that's what I really struggle with. I feel like these are people that, especially with regard to Harry, they are troubled. They are genuinely troubled.
I think that's right. And I think, Iman, here's the thing with them, that they constantly suing. Obviously, I'm involved in a case at the moment with the Mirror, which I can't talk about until it's over, so I won't talk about it. But there are lots of battles. There's like 6 lawsuits on at the moment with Harry suing all the media, right? And it seems to me that they just occasionally, they do a book invading their privacy over 400 pages. They do a Netflix series. And then in between, they're raging about media intrusion. And I'm not sure the public are wearing that anymore.
I appreciate that point. Clearly, I was one that definitely supported them. I don't in the same way that I initially did. So you're right on that point. But I can happily say that I don't actually think that they are conflating the two things. I think privacy is one thing and defending yourself is another. And so if you write a book and you're trying to defend your name, you're trying to defend all the stories that I've written about you, that's one thing. And then making sure that you have privacy when you're on your way to the shop is another. That's two separate things. So that's what you're talking about. You draw the line, right?
I remember when Diana died, and in the aftermath, everyone hated the paparazzi. And I remember I think it was a premiere in London. I think it was George Clooney. I don't want to speak out of turn about him if it wasn't, but I think it was George Clooney. And he came out and he'd been very disparaging about paparazzi. And he came out and all the paparazzi turned their backs on him at his film premiere. And it was a real moment where actually a major celebrity went, wow, hang on. What happens to the oxygen of publicity for what I want? My premieres, what if that disappears?
Well, yeah, but
they are all, whether they like each other or not, they're all part of the same celebrity pie.
Ecosystem. And Netflix wouldn't have been paying them $100 million if it wasn't for the paparazzi, if it wasn't for all the noise that they've created around them.
So he had an opportunity to defend himself, and therefore he was paid as a result.
Though, because I think defense, you have to draw the line somewhere. Defending yourself is publishing a book. Defending yourself is not, Oprah and then a series and then a book.
No, I'd actually contest you on that point. The first opportunity for him to defend himself, I think, I don't want to put words into their mouth, but they would arguably say it was Oprah. And then the kind of second defence was when we had the kind of entourage of media and this attack, and then they decided
we've got to leave it here. But I think the thing about them is nobody should be subjected to the way they've categorised what happened last night. The issue is, have they categorised it accurately?
Correctly, yeah.
If there were paparazzi bombing down the pavements, so, endangering people at 80 miles an hour, that's one thing. If that didn't happen and they've oversold it again, then it's a different issue. I think we'll find out. We'll probably see some videos. Thank you to both of you. Appreciate it. Whatever you're up to, keep it uncensored. Good night.